it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for a Confessions of a Paper Addict design team layout. So for this layout, I'm going for this general feel. I've cut the super gorgeous Chameleon cut file using some black paper, and I've pulled out a whole bunch of inks. I had a little play, which you can see at the bottom of my page, to finalize what the inks are that I'm going to use, and I've pulled out my COAPA makeup blending brushes to do a little bit of blending on my page. So I'm going to pick up Chameleon number 1. I'm going to do a basic sort of tracing outline just for how big this Chameleon is, so I know where my blending and my ink needs to go without sort of over blending it or not blending in the correct places. And I'm going to start with so I'm going to do that with the other one too first, of course. And then I'm going to start blending away. And I'm going to use all 6 of my brushes because I'm going to only mix one colour with each brush so that I don't have to wash in between and end up with a wet brush or anything like that. Now this is great, but unfortunately I wish that I had brushes that were all in this super large size, because this is the best one to work with. When you get to the super teeny tiny brush, it doesn't work as well, which you will be able to see, but it's all cool. It all comes together in the end. So I started off with my warm colors, and I'm using the Dewdrop inks, and that yellow one, Brilliance, is Sunflower Yellow. And then I've gone into that red color, which is also a Memento Dewdrop ink. So the first one was a Brilliance one, which means it's got a bit of a sparkle to it, but you can't really tell. And then this Memento one is called Love Letter. And then the middle color is actually a Fabrico ink, which I've never heard of before, but it's called Fabrico for fabric, paper, wood, etc. craft ink, number 112 Tangerine. So this little guy has got Brilliance in Sunflower Yellow, BD11. This one has Memento Love Letter, MD302, and then Fabrico Tangerine 112. And so you can see how I'm just kind of blending all of that together. And you can definitely see the difference in the red, how well the red blends and how well that yellow blends. Because I'm moving down to sort of that smaller brush, and you can again see how I'm having trouble with the orange, which is on an even tinier brush. It just doesn't go on quite as smoothly as what the yellow does. It's possible that this would have worked better with a little bit of water on my brush, like the smidgest of smidges, but I just keep persisting and keep rubbing and just keep blending as much as I can to try and get this as smooth as I can. I will also come back in with the yellow and go across that sort of join line there, just again to try and smooth that out and get that as nice and blended as I can. Because these are all sort of next to each other on the color wheel, it is okay to have them overlap each other. They won't make a muddy, browny, gross color. They will blend in together well. If I was trying to put like the purple next to the orange or something, I would end up with a bit of a browny mess because they don't flow together on the color wheel. Now down in my little cool colors, I'm starting with the Brilliance Lime, so BD42 in Pearl Lime. But as I started to use it, I discovered that nothing came out. It had got completely dry. And I didn't want to go through and try and find another color because I really don't have very many greens, and I was finally happy with this color choice. So I actually went ahead and got my Heidi Swap Color Shine in Citron out of my cupboard, and I actually just poured a little bit of this Citron into the, almost like re-inking the ink here. And that pretty much worked perfectly. My brush was actually a little bit dirty from a previous use. I hadn't cleaned it enough. I thought I had, but there was some residue inside. And so that's why it's kind of got that darker tinge to it as well, but that's okay. The blue is Memento Bahama Blue, MD601, Memento Bahama Blue. And the purple is actually a Kaiser Craft purple, and it's aubergine. I P702. So I end up just keep blending and keep playing with these 3 colors just to try and get it as smooth as I can, because I really want it to look flawless and smooth together. So I just keep buffing and buffing and buffing, and again, just a teeny tiny bit of ink wet on my brush may have helped in this process, but I do just keep working with it. And again, because they flow together on the color wheel, putting those next to each other and actually touching doesn't cause any problems. And you can see when I sit the little critters on top that they are going to look amazing. So I am going to back the little sort of triangle ridges on the back of the chameleon in paper. And I'm going to do corresponding, like tone on tone, corresponding pattern paper from my stash. And I am going to back the eye in white. So I will go ahead and do all of that off screen, and I will flick back with a completely backed cut file, completely finished cut file, ready to start creating a 12 by 12 layout. I'm just going to keep buffing, keep working with this process. So you can see if you were going to attempt something like this at home with similar brushes and with similar product, just to keep on sort of buffing it all in and just hoping that comes together. So I decided I wanted a little bit more black to happen, sort of poking through, featuring on this layout. So I matted a black 12 by 12, I gutted a black 12 by 12, and I'm just sewing it behind my pink piece of pattern paper, and it's a perfect match. I haven't trimmed down my packing paper or anything like that, but then I probably should have done this first, but then I'm going to distress the edges of that pink sheet of paper so that the black sort of shows through underneath. It's not super strong, but there's a bit of texture now around the edge of the page, and you can see it showing through. So I've gone ahead and stuck my photo and my 2 chameleons onto my page. I did those ahead of time because I let them fully dry before I start having a play with the embellishments. Now, all of the embellishments, these florals, are fussy cut off a 12 by 12 piece of paper. I'm just having a little play with how I'm going to use them. I kind of want to use them all because I've almost finished this kit, and I just want to try and smash this kit out by using up as much of the ephemera and stuff as I can. So getting as much of these florals on my page means that's one less thing I have to kill later. But I'm also conscious of covering the chameleons too much because I love them and I want them to be seen. I just love the way the black just makes this pop off the page. I don't often cut my cut files in black, and every time I do, I think, why have I not done this more? It is just gorgeous. So a little backstory as to why I picked this particular style and chameleon. One was because I was having a hunt through the cut file store to see what I felt like creating this week, and I noticed that there are a bunch of people that have the chameleon cut file in their baskets but have not committed to buying, and I wondered if seeing someone use the chameleon might help them see how they could put that together on their own page. So that's what I decided to do, set myself the challenge of trying to use this chameleon to maybe help inspire some others to go through with their purchase and buy it. I then had a bit of a hunt on Pinterest just to see if anything could give me some ideas, and I actually found a bunch of cards that had been made using a stamp set. And the stamp set was a lawn fawn stamp set, and once I actually googled the chameleon lawn fawn stamp set and a bunch of examples popped up, this rainbow feel is 100% what I got. And so I decided to embrace the rainbow and just keep flowing with it. And to create my own chameleons using a bit of a rainbow. And then once I had done that, the rest of the layout was easy. This pattern paper was just a perfect match, being the soft, beautiful pinks, and then those florals just matched the pattern paper spot on. And I just think it was a perfect pairing to this really beautiful picture of my husband and I at my best friend's wedding. So I was really thrilled with how this all came together. I even remember saying to Katie, I feel like I've cheated. This was too easy, but it just flowed. I then also used the examples from the internet that I found to come up with my title. And I always love a little bit of a punny title, so I decided to go with the title You Are One in a Chameleon, and I love it. I just think this whole layout works so well. I love the black. I love the pops, how it pops off with the pink, and I just think it is stunning. So if you were one of those people that was sitting on the fence about buying that Chameleon cut file, you definitely need to go through with that purchase now. Look how amazing it is on a layout. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I have inspired you, and I cannot wait to see you all next time.